Hey everyone, welcome back to Everyday English Unplugged, the place where we break down real English the way people actually use it. Not textbook English, not complicated grammar English, but the real stuff you hear every single day. Today's episode is all about common mistakes that intermediate English speakers make without even realizing it. These mistakes aren't huge. They're not the kind that stop communication, but they do stop you from sounding natural, confident, and fluent. And the funny thing is, even native speakers sometimes make the exact same mistakes. So in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the most common errors, the ones that show up in daily conversations, texts, workplace emails, and casual speech. And I'm going to explain what's wrong, why it happens, and how to fix it in a simple, natural way. All right, let's dive in. You know, one of the biggest mistakes intermediate speakers make is mixing up I'm thinking, I think, and I thought. These three look almost the same, but they're used for very different purposes. For example, a lot of people say, I'm thinking it's a good idea, when they actually mean, I think it's a good idea. I'm thinking is a process, something you're doing right now. I think is an opinion. I thought is something you believed before, but maybe not anymore. So imagine someone asks, do you want to order pizza? If you say, I'm thinking yes, that sounds strange. But if you say, I think yes, now it's natural. It's a small difference, but these small things create a huge difference in how natural you sound. Another huge mistake is using so and very incorrectly. Intermediate speakers often say things like, this movie is so amazing. I'm so hungry. It's so cold today. Now sometimes that's okay, but the mistake happens when so is used without a complete idea. For example, this movie is so amazing. Okay, fine. But this movie is so amazing that I watched it twice. Now that is what so is designed for, cause and effect. Meanwhile, very is just intensity, no cause, no effect. So instead of saying, I'm so tired, you can say, I'm very tired. Or if you want to be expressive, I'm so tired that I could fall asleep right now. Intermediate speakers mix these two up constantly, and fixing this instantly makes your English sound more structured. Another everyday mistake is confusing fun and funny. These two words ruin sentences all the time. People say, the party was funny, when they mean the party was fun. Funny means something that makes you laugh. Fun means enjoyable. So if you say, my weekend was funny, people think something strange or hilarious happened. But if you say, my weekend was fun, now you're communicating correctly. A lot of intermediate speakers mix these without realizing how big the meaning difference is. Now here's a mistake that even high-level speakers make. Using I don't mind when they actually mean I don't care, and vice versa. I don't care means you have no interest. I don't mind means you're okay or comfortable with something. Imagine someone asks, where do you want to sit? If you say, I don't care, that can sound rude or uninterested. If you say, I don't mind, that sounds polite and flexible. In many cultures, I don't care literally translates to I have no strong preference, which is polite. But in English, it sounds cold. So a lot of intermediate learners use it incorrectly without realizing it. Another classic mistake is with questions using do you know? Intermediate speakers ask questions like this. Do you know where is the washroom? It seems correct, but it's not. When you start with do you know, the rest of the sentence becomes indirect speech. So the correct version is, do you know where the washroom is? Not, where is the washroom? The rule is simple. Direct question order, indirect question statement order. This one mistake happens hundreds of times every day, especially when people are asking directions or clarifying information. Another common mistake is saying depends of instead of depends on. Intermediate speakers often translate directly from their native languages and end up creating phrases like, it depends of the situation. But the correct form is, it depends on the situation. Or even more natural, it really depends. This mistake is so widespread that even long-term learners sometimes don't notice it. Now let's talk about a mistake that happens all the time with borrow and lend. I borrowed him my pen, or can you borrow me $5? These sentences are incorrect because borrow and lend are opposite actions. Borrow equals take, lend equals give. So the correct structure is, can you lend me $5? I borrowed a pen from him. Intermediate speakers often know the rule, but in fast speech, they mix them up unintentionally. Another subtle mistake comes from using too much and too many. Intermediate speakers often say things like, "There's too much people," or "You have too many sugar in your coffee." But the rule is too many for countable things, too much for uncountable things. Too many people, too many cars, too many problems. Too much water, too much noise, too much stress. But here's the interesting thing. Native speakers break this rule in casual speech all the time. And because learners hear native speakers make the mistake, they repeat it. That's why intermediate level mistakes are so tricky. They feel normal because everyone around you is doing the same thing. Now, another very common mistake comes from using used to. Lots of intermediate speakers confuse "I used to play soccer" with "I'm used to playing soccer." And then there's "I get used to playing soccer." Three structures, completely different meanings, and intermediate learners mix them up constantly. Fixing this one mistake instantly makes your sentences more precise. Another everyday mistake is misusing by and until. People say, "I will finish this until tomorrow," when they mean, "I will finish this by tomorrow." By means before or at a specific time. Until means continuously up to that time. So, "I will be here until 5 p.m., but I must finish this by 5 p.m. This mistake appears constantly in workplace English, scheduling, and planning. One of my favorite mistakes, because it's so common, is when people say, "I didn't knew," or "I didn't went," or "I didn't saw." Intermediate learners know the past tense, but they forget that after didn't, the verb returns to base form. I didn't know. I didn't go. I didn't see. This rule is simple, but under pressure, people forget it. Another extremely common intermediate mistake is overusing very and really. In English, some adjectives are already strong, so adding very doesn't make sense. People say, "Very beautiful," "very delicious," "very amazing." These are common, but not natural. Instead, you can use absolutely beautiful, truly delicious, really amazing. Intermediate speakers often know the words, but not the intensity levels. Fixing this makes your English more expressive and precise. Another everyday mistake is the sentence, "I look forward to meet you." Intermediate learners memorize to and think it means the infinitive. But after look forward to, you must use the ing form. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to working with you. This mistake shows up in emails around the world every single day. Now let's talk about phrasal verbs, the nightmare of every intermediate speaker. Because when you translate them literally, they make absolutely no sense. The mistake here is not misunderstanding the phrasal verbs. It's choosing the wrong one. People say cancel out when they mean cancel. They say look up to the information instead of look up the information. They say pick up me instead of pick me up. It's not a grammar problem. It's a rhythm problem and a placement problem. English is full of phrasal verbs where the particle changes the meaning completely. Intermediate speakers get the right verb but the wrong particle, creating strange sentences. Finally, one of the most everyday mistakes among intermediate speakers is overusing the present continuous. For example, "I'm wanting a new phone." "I'm knowing the answer." "I'm believing you." These sound strange because certain verbs, like want, know, believe, understand, describe states, not actions. So they don't normally use the continuous form. Instead, we say, "I want a new phone." "I know the answer." "I believe you." Intermediate learners use the continuous form too often because so many languages don't have this difference. So these are the mistakes that show up not once or twice, but every single day in the life of an intermediate English speaker. These mistakes don't stop communication, but they stop you from sounding polished. And the moment you begin noticing them, the moment you become conscious of these patterns, your English improves dramatically without learning anything new. You simply start using what you already know in the correct way. This is the real magic of language learning. Small adjustments, huge results. If you want more episodes like this, make sure to subscribe to Everyday English Unplugged, because here, we focus on the English you actually use, not the English that lives in grammar books. Thanks for watching, thanks for learning, and I'll see you in the next episode.